Welcome to the Efficientpreneur Show with Ahmed Al-Karemli, where you learn how to build and scale your business profitability online with less time, effort, and cost, so you can enjoy a fulfilling lifestyle.
Hi everyone, this is Ahmed Al-Karemli and welcome to Be Efficient TV. The mission of this web TV show is to boost the efficiency of your business and life through tips and tricks from leading experts. And today I have with me Reid. He is an expert in SEO, content marketing, and the founder of Ardor SEO. Welcome to the show, Kris.
Hey Ahmed, thanks for having me, man.
It's my pleasure, thank you. So what's your background and how did you start in the online world?
Yeah, so I'm originally from Australia, a software engineer by trade. Moved to the UK to work in finance back in the good old days before the global financial crisis. Then my career got shattered like so many other budding young software engineers. And that, then I kind of put me on the path to make my own destiny. I went back to Australia. I wanted to learn some web technology, so I started building this online game. And, I really just built it as a tool to learn how to program some web stuff. And as the game was coming to fruition, I thought, well, how the heck do you get people to come and play it? And so I started learning about SEO. And actually at the time I was dating a Russian girl. And she said, well, do you want to move to Russia? I thought, no, why not? And I didn't speak Russian at the time, so there was no chance of me getting a job. And so I thought, well, I wonder if I can make any money out of this SEO game. And it turns out I could. So that's how I got started.
Why did you choose SEO?
Really, as it really just fell together. Like I was playing around with it, building my own, promoting my game. And I thought, well, this is a service that people need, right? And I'm pretty good at it, so let's see how that goes. So it was more that it fell into my lap, really.
Is SEO still working as it used to be before, or before? Like so many people now saying that SEO is gone, there is no SEO anymore. You just need to focus on quality content and do some optimization on the page, and then that's it.
Doing that some optimization on the page is SEO, but certainly creating good content is important. Google's always trying to create a good user experience, right? And so creating good content is part of it, but having a site that's loads fast, that is mobile friendly, that fits on the person's device, these are things that Google wants to have as well. That your site's easily understood, easy to navigate. Google's really trying to work out what a user's seeing and what a user's trying to think. And if they can easily understand your website, then they figure a user can too. So it's going to be a good user experience.
Can you brief us on the algorithm of Google nowadays?
Yeah, sure.
Of what you know.
To put it into, it's a pretty complicated algorithm.
This episode is brought to you by the Efficientpreneur Club. The Efficientpreneur Club is a private and affordable one-on-one business coaching club for business owners and entrepreneurs who want to build and scale their business profitability and performance with less time, effort, and cost, and without risking their freedom. So whether you are still figuring out the right business model, strategy, and pricing, or you need help to improve your funnels, ads, sales, and conversion, then the Efficientpreneur Club is for you. Your business challenges are not going to fix themselves unless you fix them today. And the consequences of not addressing that today is your business profitability and performance will not improve, and your relationships and health will continue to be affected. It's no wonder that building and scaling a business becomes so stressful over time, but it doesn't have to be that way. The Efficientpreneur Club will help you take your business to the next level with a private and affordable one-on-one coaching with me personally, tailored to your unique needs. I will help you clarify your direction, set a strategic action plan, and guide you step by step to build and scale your business efficiently. The Efficientpreneur Club will also provide access to an extensive how-to video library, the most highly recommended tools, and a supportive community of like-minded business owners to help you along the way with feedback, encouragement, and advice. The Efficientpreneur Club is the perfect place to be if you want to maximize your profits, minimize your workload, and scale your freedom and efficiency. So check it out at efficientpreneurclub.com and say bye-bye to generic courses, secretive gurus, and expensive mentors.
Algorithm, and it's getting smarter all the time. I mean, so the fundamentals behind Google are backlinks, right? So a backlink is a link from one website to another. The little hyperlinks that you click on. Larry Page, the co-founder of Google, his idea back in the day was that if you write a book and everyone references your book, then you must be the authority in your niche. He figured, well, that must be the same for websites, right? If everyone is linking to your website, then you must be the authority in your niche. And it turns out that that was correct. And, like back then, there was heaps of other search engines, Yahoo, Excite, Alta Vista, a bunch of them, and they all had different algorithms that weren't based on links. And Google just destroyed them because it turned out that was a really important thing.
What matters.
Yeah, and so it's still the fundamental of their algorithm, but it's much more complicated now. Like, not every link is weighted the same. It's much more in the context. So, if you're a plumber, a link from a baker won't really mean much, but a link from the hardware store or some other plumbing organization is going to have a lot of context, a lot of credibility. But in the same breath, it also, on the context of how someone is searching. So I'm in Phnom Penh, Cambodia right now, and we've got a local customer who does Mekong river cruises. Mekong's the big river that goes through Southeast Asia. And so we look at search results, and if you type Mekong river cruise, the results that you get in Phnom Penh and the results you get in London are vastly different. But the intention of the searcher is also different, right? So if you're in London and searching Mekong river cruise, chances are you want to do some research. Where does the Mekong go? What sort of cruises are available? Where if you're in Phnom Penh on the Mekong, you probably want to book a trip. And so different links help people rank differently too. So if you're in the UK, a link from The Guardian or the BBC is going to stand for a lot because it's got a lot of credibility to a British person. But a link in Phnom Penh, so like the Phnom Penh Post, is going to have a lot more credibility here because it's the regional power and they know what cruise is the best in this sort of area. So the way the links work are pretty complex.
So like when you serve a client in terms of backlinking, let's say the client is an author. So what do you do as a company to promote him organically on Google?
So the first step with any customer we have is to try and work out exactly what they want to do. What do you want to achieve? Who's your customer, and what's your ideal customer? What's the products that are most important to you? And then we'll go and do our keyword research. So it can get complicated, but some keywords might have more valuable search intonation, like buying keywords. Free whatever download, that's not a great keyword generally, but like buy XYZ is a great keyword because it's got a buying intonation. That's a very obvious case, but there's much more subtle cases as well. So some long tail keywords might express an intonation of that someone's really ready to book and or pay, where someone else is looking for information or reviews or
But do they still write certain small comments on other sites, linking back to your site or to the author site, or?
I mean, getting comment.
Or they just focus on the site, like publishing content on the author side. That's it. But they don't do it on other platforms or other sites.
So going out to create links through blog commenting and stuff like that is not a very effective strategy. The links are near worthless. Though that being said, if it's on a great forum, then that's real people that are looking at those comments. So if you're an expert in whatever field, say you're a plumber, right? And there's some forum that's all about, how to fix toilets. If you get in there and you show your authority and go, yeah, rubbish. Use this tool. It's the best way to do it. And this is, the toilet of the year. Then people are going to see it and go, wow, that's the authority, and they'll go to your website anyway. All you're trying to do is build your brand and attract customers. So that'll have a different reason. It won't help you increase your ranking in Google, but it'll still help you build your brand. And you'll notice a lot of really good marketers. So there's tools like Majestic SEO. If you go to majestic.com, you can put in a domain name and it'll show you the anchor text. So the anchor text is the backlink, the keywords that are inside that backlink. And a lot of people that are very active, like for one example that I know, Justin Cook from Empire Flippers, if you look at Empire Flippers, you'll see that the number one keyword is Justin Cook, because he's very active in forums and commenting on people's blog posts, and the link is always his name. And he gets a lot of traffic that way and builds up his authority within these communities. It's not really for SEO, but it's still kind of the same thing.
How a client, when they want to hire an SEO company, can make sure that this company is legit? What's the questions, or that's...
Yeah, this is certainly a hard thing, and I mean, the barrier to entry to being an SEO is zero. It's like, I'm an SEO, okay, are you? Fair enough. Like becoming a mining, opening a gold mine is a lot harder. So it's to say you're a mining owner, it's a lot harder. So that brings a lot of shady characters to the industry, which is really annoying because it makes it harder for all of us. And to weed those out, anyone that guarantees you any rankings is, full of BS, because the only people that can guarantee anything in Google is Google. And they say that they don't manipulate any rankings. So, even if Google said that, it would be weird.
So,
what I'd look for is, don't go for the cheapest. I mean, that's, you're looking at your reputation and you're looking at marketing. SEO should be considered like any other form of marketing. You put $1 in, you get $1 out. You should get a positive ROI. And that's certainly what we aim to do for our customers as quickly as possible, because it doesn't matter how much they're spending, $1, $10,000, $1 million. If you're getting a positive ROI, well, you're going to keep spending all day long, right?
But how about if they say we can guarantee you the first page of Google, not like number one?
Well, they can't guarantee that. We can't, they can't, no one can. They can have, a disclaimer that if they don't get you listed for X amount of keywords, then you get a refund or your money back or whatever, and that's a valid thing to do, but they can't guarantee that they'll move you.
So how do you measure it? Like, do you show them that once you start with them that this is the rank of the keywords that they selected, and then later on when you worked on the keywords, what's the ranking of those keywords?
So what we try and focus on more than particular keywords, because keyword fluctuations can happen so dramatically. They just bounce up and down, and sometimes it's understandable, sometimes it's not. I mean, we've got a huge variety of customers. And sometimes you look at the SERP, the top 10, and you go, how the hell is that site even in there? Google's a strange beast at times. And so what we look at is your overall traffic, and we feel that is much more important than any in particular keyword. And then your overall conversions, right? Because at the end of the day, no one cares about rankings. That doesn't drive revenue. No one even cares about traffic. They care about conversions,
So do you manage the conversion for the
clients? That's certainly one of the first things that we try and set up.
Like example, a client comes with 0 sales or X amount of sales, and then you say that we can work with you on measuring your conversions through the funnel and manage the funnel.
Yeah, so we try and work out what a conversion means. Like a conversion can mean anything from someone picking up the phone and calling you, submitting a form, actually buying a product, whatever it is. And so we'll set up Google Analytics to do conversion tracking, so that you follow the path to which whatever it is to be a conversion for that website. And so as long as we can show that conversions are going up, well, then we're doing our job right. And at the end of the day, that's what people care about more than I rank
So basically, you take over the whole process from marketing to the opt-ins to the
For sure, because
conversion.
digital marketing really does need to be encompassed, right? You know, if your content's rubbish, you're not going to rank anyway. And if people do rank, well, you're just going to get a bounce. And if you're going to get a bounce, then it's going to hurt your rankings. So if we built like a whole bunch of links to your website and you shot up to the top 10, but then people click on your website and come back to Google because it's terrible content, it's not going to take very long until Google remove you from that, you know, because they know that it's a bad result. I mean, there's a really good video recently from the guys at Backlinko. And so he did an article called How to Get High Backlinks or something like that, high page rank. But the start of the article was how to get high. And so he started ranking for how to get high, you know, and everything else on there is like people that are interested in drugs and getting high. And, you know, he got a heap of traffic from it, but he got huge bounce rate because, well, his article had nothing to do with that. And Google saw that very readily and went and demoted the page for that. And, you know, he showed the graph. He like went up to in the top 10 somewhere. And then, you know, a couple of days later, he's like number 30, then number 90, and now I'm not in the top 100 at all. And it's fair enough because it's not relevant to that term whatsoever. And so it's really important that you make your content that's going to be, you know, top quality.
What else is working off page other than backlinking?
Off page, well, that is what off page SEO is, right? Social media, Google doesn't have so much relevance, like it doesn't care about it so much. A link from Facebook or YouTube or Twitter or whatever doesn't really matter to Google. It's nice, like they go, okay, people are talking about you. And so if you got 100,000 people on Twitter talking about you, yeah, it's probably going to be a good social signal. But you need those sort of numbers, 100,000, where generally one is not the same. It's like,
So they doesn't give weight more for, let's say, YouTube because they own YouTube?
No, the reason being is that anyone can go and comment on it, right? So it's, and you know, who are you? They can't weight up who you are and your authority. You know, there's a difference between a Huffington Post, you commenting in the comments and having a link to your website. That's a comment that anyone can make. Where if the actual the author of that article linked to your website, well, that's, you know, not anyone can write an article for the Huffington Post. So that has a lot more credibility, yeah? Does that make sense?
So you think the weight of social media is so low?
Per link, for sure.
However, the social media is a big part of the internet.
It as a backlinking source, it doesn't matter. It's really negligible. Sure, like as I said, if you get 100,000, you know, links from Twitter, then sure, that's going to be great. But more importantly than those used as backlinks is that you have 100,000 people tweeting about you. It's like, well, they're all going to your website, right? So that's what.
Basically, you should use social media to link back to your website.
No, social media is great for actual people, but in terms of SEO, it's very limited. Like, it's not going to help your Google ranking, right? The links are negligible.
But how about if people visiting, you have more visitors or traffic to your site because of the links that you put on your social media that doesn't
of course,
have a weight?
Exactly what I was saying about like comments in forums and whatnot. The actual links aren't really worth anything. Google's not looking at them and going, wow, you got all these forum links that anyone can make. But if you're showing good content and having, you know, a good interaction within social media and it's driving traffic to your website, then that's a good thing. But it's not in terms of SEO. Does that make sense?
Yes. Let's move to on page. What do you do on page?
So looking at your website, the first thing you want to make sure is that it's mobile friendly. Google brought in a huge penalty about a year and a half ago now, 2 years, that it's because, you know, there's so many people on mobile devices, so it should be mobile responsive. You know, want to make sure it loads consistently. Google want to make sure that a person has a good user experience. If they click on your website, well, it better load. If you've got a server that's down all the time, well, they're not going to rank you. And the same for the quality. Do you have 404s? Do you have broken links? Links on your website? If I click on About Me, does it work? If it doesn't, Google's going to think, well, that's a bad user experience. So you want to make sure that technically all of the bits work, that it's easy to navigate, that it makes sense. Try and think about what your users want to do and lead them. One thing I think that people have a problem with is you become blind because you look at your website so often and you're an expert about whatever you do. And so you really kind of try and think about what's the problem that you solve and what are people coming to your website for, and direct them and lead them. It's show them the way. Don't put up, here's all 1,000 different things to look at. Show them, here's, if you got problem A, here's solution. If you got problem B, here's solution. That's like the main thing, Keep it simple.
Do you use any or recommend any plugins for on-page?
There's in regards to SEO, Yoast is a great little SEO one. It helps you manage your title tags, metadata. It's nice and simple. Depends what themes you use. I'd really recommend WordPress. It's a great, a great system that makes managing a website super easy. It's designed so that any person, that you don't have to be a programmer to build a website. So if anyone's building a website, I'd highly recommend, getting it done in WordPress.
How to get ranked on Google with the long tail keywords right now?
It's really the same as the short tails. It's just generally less competitive. So, a long tail is what it says, a longer keyword, right? A short tail keyword might be like divorce lawyer Miami, where a long tail might be how to find the best divorce lawyer in South Miami. It's less competitive, less search volume, and easier place to start. And depending on the authority of your website and the competitive of your niche, like divorce lawyer Miami is very competitive. So, I wouldn't start off at the top if you're not ranking very well. Long tails, there's actually more search volume in long tails than there are short tails when you add them all together. But you need to rank for all of them to get that search volume. But they're the best ones to start off with. Take all the low-hanging fruit, and you'll start building up your authority and your respect with Google. Google builds up its trust with you, and then you can go after the really competitive, valuable keywords.
For new bloggers or blogs or sites, how long it takes usually to rank on the first page in general?
Well,
or it depends on the quality of the content?
It depends on...
If you have enjoyed today's episode, I would like to invite you to check out efficientpreneurclub.com. The Efficientpreneur Club is the right membership for you if you've been working to grow your business for a while now and things aren't happening as fast as you want. If you are tired of generic courses, secretive gurus, and expensive mentors who charge $2,000 to $5,000 a month, then fob you off onto sub-coaches or connect with you in group coaching calls. If you are already stressed out about your business model, sales, productivity, team, and systems. If you are scrambling in the evenings and on the weekends and you never have time for yourself and your family. Those problems are not going to fix themselves unless you fix them today. Why? Because your business profitability and performance are not going to change unless you do, and your relationships and health will continue to be affected. Building and scaling a business becomes so stressful over time, but it doesn't have to be that way. The Efficientpreneur Club is a private and affordable one-on-one business coaching club for business owners and entrepreneurs who want to build and scale their business profitability and performance with less time, effort, and cost, and without risking their freedom. The Efficientpreneur Club will help you take your business to the next level with a private and affordable individual coaching with me personally. I tailor the program to your unique needs. I will help you clarify your direction, set a strategic action plan, and guide you step by step to build and scale your business efficiently. The Efficientpreneur Club will also provide access to an extensive how-to video library, the most highly recommended tools, and a supportive community of like-minded business owners to help you along the way with feedback, encouragement, and advice. The Efficientpreneur Club is the perfect place to be if you want to maximize your profits, minimize your workload, and scale your freedom and efficiency. So check it out at efficientpreneurclub.com and say bye-bye to generic courses, secretive gurus, and expensive mentors.
The keyword and the competitiveness of it, right? Generally speaking, the more valuable a keyword, the harder it would be. Like, so, you know, if you were a history buff and you wanted to write something about World War II, there's not a lot of money in writing about history. So I'm sure you could rank for any keyword, you know, the Great Tank Battle of Kursk. You know, I'm sure you could rank that no problem, because there's no money in it. So no one's investing resources to rank for that. Where to rank for something like insurance, you know, ridiculously difficult. You know, buy an iPhone. You know, it's going to be pretty hard to compete with, you know, Verizon in the US or Telstra in Australia. So it really depends on what niche you're going after, you know.
What's the weight of transcription on the ranking of SEO?
Transcription in regards to
like if you transcribe, let's say, this interview, and you have 10,000 words. Sometimes I see the weight of a proper blog post of 200 words is way higher than a transcription of 10,000. So however, it's on the same subject, but how Google looks at that? Like, do you recommend putting a transcription or no?
I mean, it can't hurt, but so Google, you know that they can read audio, yeah? So, like, you know, YouTube has automatic subtitles. So they know the content of a video. Any video that goes into YouTube, they know what of that content is. So you're not going to get any benefit from, well, that being said, you're ranking the video in YouTube, ranking your actual web page, adding the content to it is content to the page. So but if you've got 200 words of decent content, it should be fine, but it's, you know, it's the way people talk is different to the way people read as well. So the way we're speaking right now, we're having a conversation, which isn't how you'd write an article on a page, right? So as a weighted SEO thing, it's not going to really hurt, but the effect of it for the viewers probably limited too, you know.
What's reputation engineering?
So reputation engineering, it's a term that we coined. So this is based on online reputation management, right? And so we use the term engineering to make sure that people see what you want to see. Like, there's some nasty individuals out there on the internet. Like, one of our newest customers, she's completely ditching her old brand because it's been destroyed. She had people attack her, and there's so much rubbish on the internet about her, and it's her competitors like slagging her off. And the you know, if it was done in the conventional media, you'd know who they are, and you could sue them for slander. But when it's there's no author attached to it, but it's in Google, you know, people still can that. You know, like there's this website in Australia called True Local that ranks quite well, and you can leave reviews of businesses there, and there's no verification whether you're a customer or not. And one of our other customers, someone left this terrible review about them, and then under it they left another comment and went, "Oh no, I actually spoke to them, it's all fine now." Like, well, why don't you get rid of the terrible review? Because most people aren't going to read the little comment, you know? And that's the sort of thing that you don't want out there. And if you can get ahead of anyone that's an evil person and engineer your reputation so that people see it the way you want to see it, hear your story.
But can you remove those things or bad things?
You don't control True Local, so, and you know, the Rip-Off Report and all these other, you know, slanderous rubbish websites. But what you can do is make, you know, your Facebook page, your YouTube channel, your Twitter account, your LinkedIn profile, make those authorities and build them up. The quicker you have them, so the longer the more trusted they are. So if your YouTube channel is 5 years old and it's got videos added to it every now and then and a bit of interaction, ranking for your business name is usually pretty easy because it's not very competitive, right? But it'll cement that it's there. And so if someone 2 years down the track comes to badmouth you, it's hard for their stuff to get on top of it. So it's more kind of protection.
What's other secure?
Secure? Just like we were mentioning earlier about mobile update, mobile geddon, as Google coined it. Kind of the new version of that is security, right? HTTPS. So there's two protocols, HTTP and HTTPS, which uses a secure socket layer. So everything's encrypted within your communication. And this is a real trust signal for Google and a trust signal for visitors too. So what we do is organize people's SSL certificate and then make sure that everything on their website is secure. So you have to change every link to HTTPS rather than HTTP and make sure that everything that is, nothing's accessible through the HTTP as well. And it's a real trust signal for Google because, everything's looking after your user. And users really like it too, so it'll certainly help any e-commerce website.
But how that works, like if you change only the domain from the hosting or from wherever you bought the domain to HTTPS, PBS, then that's not going to change the entire links on the sites, or you have to change it one by one?
No, you have to go into the website and change everything. So, if you got on your front page, especially if it's a HTML website, and it links to your About Us page. If it's an absolute link, it says HTTP domain/About Us, you need to get in there and manually change it to HTTPS. It's why it's nice using stuff like WordPress. It makes things a lot quicker.
So do you recommend everyone to change to the S?
For sure. It's a really good trust signal for both Google and for visitors. People are still really sketchy about putting their credit card details into websites. So if you make it look nice with a little padlock and it'll certainly help them get over the hurdle.
What's the best marketing strategy that worked for your business? Like, is it only depending on SEO and content, or do you do some offline marketing?
We actually do a lot of offline stuff, a lot of networking. I think that one thing people miss in the digital world is they think that you're out there on a cloud by yourself. I think it's very much the same as in the bricks and mortar world. If you're a baker, you've got all sorts of partners. You've got the people that deliver your flour and people deliver your whatever else. And, it's the same in the digital world. You're not a company that sits there and doesn't interact with anyone else. And so you should, use these partnerships and, build your community and, get out there and get yourself known. I think it makes it more interesting as well. You get to learn who your listeners are. If you're sitting there, blah, 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 and on podcasts, or if you're writing content and you're not getting any feedback from who you're speaking to, you might be, standing in the forest shouting. You want to really know who you're speaking to and that your content's relevant.
How do you charge for content creation? Like, is it per post, per word, per how it works?
So we got two services. One, Ardor Content, which is for what's a nice way of saying it? Kind of lesser. It's content that you link building, which isn't amazing content. It's really for SEO sort of stuff, where our content that we do to really build your brand and build your website, that's on a case-by-case basis. So, we've got content specialists that'll look at what you need. A lot of what we do with content is based on 10% on building the content, 90% on getting that content out there. If you're writing content and no one's reading it, what's the point? So we spend a lot of time promoting it.
What are the tools that you are using that makes you more efficient?
So you mean me in my job or in regards to SEO?
Personally, as
Personally, I
Kris.
use calendars a lot. If I don't have things scheduled, then they don't happen. I use like escapism. I like to escape from my office to get away from my staff because otherwise they and you never get anything done. So what I tend to do in the mornings is I'll go to a cafe, I'll have breakfast, and I'll plan out my day. I set out my goals that I want to accomplish, and then I go and get those goals done. That's usually before lunch, and then I get to the office about lunchtime, and then spend the afternoon, working with staff and getting anything implemented or speaking with customers. So, yeah, I think really.
So you set your goals in the morning for the entire day, not like before one day.
Yeah, what I want to achieve, what's important to me to drive the business forward. So a big change came when I actually started doing that. I used to really run off my inbox, which is, you're running off a to-do list, which is someone else's to-do list. You're not achieving what you want to achieve, you're finishing the tasks that other people want you to do.
What are your other hobbies?
Hobbies, I'm a big yogi. I yoga quite a lot. That would be about it, really. I work a lot. I travel a lot, but that's generally for work. So, yeah, I'd go with yoga.
Top 3 mentors.
Mentors. Okay, that's a bit tricky. I like to follow people like Steli Efti, Frank Kern, Ryan Dice. These are all digital marketers. They're very good, but I think it's much more important to have someone. They're, online global guys that have big brands. I think it's also great to have people that you actually know so that they know your business. Like my father, he's a huge mentor of mine. He knows my business intimately, and we discuss it regularly. We even had lunch today and, how we had some strategy, and it helped,
So you're based in Cambodia. How many employees you have in Cambodia? How many employees in Philippines? And why you selected those 2 countries?
Yeah, so we got 2 offices here in Phnom Penh, Cambodia, and the other in Davao in the southern Philippines. The Philippines, the reason that we went there is because they have exceptional English. Outside of native English-speaking countries, it's got to be the best. It's, better than India. India started off the call center craze, but I believe the Philippines has more call centers now because their English is often less accented, so it works much nicer with Americans. That's the reason that we are there. And Cambodia is really because I like the country. I was traveling through here a couple of years ago and really liked it. And it fits us great. We have pretty much all expat staff here. People from Russia, Finland, UK, US, Australia, France. And so it's great. You get diversity of people. There's no other SEO company in town. So if you want to work in digital marketing, you come work for us. So, it gives us those sort of advantages too.
How many employees in total you have?
Just over 50.
Top 3 apps that you use on your smartphone.
Pretty boring. I don't really use apps. I watch YouTube sometimes.
You're not a digital marketing guy, very simple, manual, because maybe you sick of it at work, like digital, so you just want to go simple in your life.
For sure. I try and keep my phone away from work. When I'm not in the office, I'm not working. That's what I try and do. I don't check my email outside of office hours because I'm not going to do anything with it, so what's the point of worrying about it?
How do you change your mind when you are depressed? What do you do?
Meditation. I do a lot of meditation. That will help focus you. Exercise, vigorous exercise it's quite similar to meditation. It'll stop you thinking about whatever you shouldn't be thinking about and get you back to feeling good.
What's the best advice that you have ever received?
The best advice? Probably, I mean, this is the general mindset, but to not be scared and just do it. Get out there and try. If it's okay to fail, it's not okay not to try. That's what I've
Chance to advise your younger self. What would you advise your younger self?
Certainly to be more patient and to learn more. Like I'm reading a great book at the moment called Scaling Up, and it's following the paths of both Apple and Starbucks. And both of those companies took 25 years before they really got their shit together. And they're both world-beating companies, but it took them 25 years to really get to that. And so it's like, well, don't be in such a hurry. Like, just enjoy the ride and learn and carry on.
Top three books.
Oh, here's one right here. This is a great book, Zig Ziglar, Secrets to Closing the Sale. Another classic is How to Win Friends and Influence People. And a book that I've shared a lot recently is called Guide to the Good Life, which is a book on Stoicism, which I really highly recommend for the soul.
Top three factors for success.
Perseverance, courage. If you don't try, then you're not going to get there. But you need to keep trying. Could no doubt fail. And resilience, because you're going to screw up and you need to keep moving forward.
Top three people that you're inspired by.
On a business note, my dad's a huge help and mentor. I can't think of anyone else on the top of my head.
What makes you really happy?
Balancing. When you balance everything, it's really nice. When you're balancing life and work, sometimes I work too much and it makes you a bit meh. Sometimes I don't work enough and makes you meh. Well, that's not really true. I never do that. But, it's just, when you've got life working nice, it's like you're going out for dinner and you're exercising well and you're sleeping good. Having a good night's sleep, that's when you know that you've got everything sailing perfectly.
Thank you, Kris. Last question, how people can contact you?
Yeah, so my name's Kris Reid. It's Kris with a K. You can grab me at Ardor SEO, ARDOR SEO.com, or you can tweet me at coolest guy in SEO.
Thank you so much, Kris, for this deep information about SEO. Really appreciate it.
Cool, man. It's been a pleasure.
Thanks, everyone. Be efficient and stay efficient, and see you soon with another leading expert.
Thanks for watching or listening. It means the world to me if you would leave an honest review of the show on iTunes or any other podcast platform that you are listening through. And big thanks to all the people who have already reviewed the show.
Discover how to build and scale your business profitability and performance with less time, effort, and cost. Check out efficientpreneur.com.